Hey everyone, it's Evangeline here at etrailer, and today we have the Hollywood Rack's Destination E 2-bike platform rack for your heavy electric bikes. We'll take a look at how it fits our 2022 Ford Edge. So the Destination E is very unique because of its different ways it approaches carrying your bikes. It really is designed for heavy electric bikes, but it can also carry bikes of different shapes and sizes. It does have a ramp included, but it's not stored on the rack. You have to keep it inside your car, and it takes a lot of time to move your bike in and out and on the rack because of all the straps. So there's pros and cons to all of it. We're going to talk about it, focusing on our Ford Edge, and see what is the best fit for you. So first, we have the tilt-away feature. It's actually a really cool feature. It does have a little bit of a trick to it. I go up against the vehicle so that I can access the knob here in the back. You want to loosen this just enough so you can push it out like that. And once that's pushed out, you can just take your time, get yourself set up, get yourself ready to push out on this bike rack away from the vehicle. And look at that deep tilt. This allows you to open up your hatch, and now you can see there's plenty of clearance between the door and our bike rack. You can get in here, get your waters, your bags, your helmets, hang out by your tailgate, and once you've gotten what you needed, you can then just close this and lift the rack back up. So this does have a weight capacity of 70 pounds per bike, which is very impressive. The downside to that is that's also going to be 70 pounds per bike that you're going to have to support the weight of as you tilt away and bring right back up. The reason this can tilt your bike so far is because of all the different straps and the way it holds down your bike. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 touch points. 3 of those are going to be your wheel straps. The 4th one is going to be your frame mount. When you want to take your bike off, you start at the wheel straps and then you go to the frame mount. You do have that ramp included, so I like to set that up after the straps ahead of time. Now, this only works for the rear cradle. You can't attach this to the front cradle, so you do have to remember that if you are parked in a tight spot, you might lose access on one side. But the ramp goes and fits into the tab on the rear cradle, right there, and then you can extend it to however long you need it, and that helps give you a nice shallow angle for securing your bike. All the straps are facing out, meaning they're designed for you to go either on your vehicle side or outside your vehicle in order to access the lever, lift up on the strap, and then pivot out of the way of the spokes. So there's 1, 2, and 3 of these. Once those are off, you can then go over to the frame mount. Now this is where it gets a little creative, because it really is up to you and the size of your bike where you want to put this frame mount. If you find more security further down the tube or on your seat post, you can pick whatever works best. This is lockable. See how you have a lock core key here? Because then you don't have to worry about cable locks. You just lock it there to keep your bike secured. Once that frame mount is loose, bring that away from your vehicle. And here's a little trick that I do. I just hop over to the other ramp, and then I can ramp the bike down. So if you have limited clearance around your car, like what I had there, that might be a good little trick to get things set up so that you don't have to lift your heavy e-bikes up and down. That ramp folds up as well to be a lot more compact. So let's grab it, fold it, and tighten it with the lever or the knob in the back. We'll put this away and make sure we don't forget it for our next trip. Look here at the straps. Notice the way our cradles are designed. They're kind of like the wings, which is very unique to the Destination series that Hollywood Racks has. So not only does it have that 70-pound weight capacity, but it also has a wheelbase capacity of 50 inches and a tire width capacity of 4.5-inch wide tires. You've got that front wheel chuck. We'll just fold that up. Let's take some measurements. To measure for length, I measure from our bumper to the end of the rack. That's going to be 30 inches. That's a measurement to remember if you're backing into a small garage or trying to park into a tight spot. Next measurement is ground clearance. So that's 15.5 inches here, and then 19.75 inches at the center. Compare that to your shank, though, which is 11 inches off the ground. So it definitely has a shank rise to give you more ground clearance. So that way, if you go up steep inclines like driveways or hills, you'll have a better clearance. Notice that that shank was a 2-inch shank, so make sure you have a 2-inch hitch receiver on your vehicle. We're going to make this more compact, and to do so, there's more straps and more levers. We're going to release these rubber straps, which are holding these levers in, so we can push those out now, 1 and 2. And once those levers are out, you can then bring the entire mast down, levers go back in to secure it, and straps go back around the levers to secure those. A lot more work compared to your basic bike rack, especially like your dual wheel mount bike racks, like a Rocky Mounts guide rail. You can see the big difference here when it comes to carrying them around. But with the mast down, we can now open up our hatch again. So if you need to put away some groceries, that's the way to do it. We are going to fold this rack up though. So here we have a clip, and that clip is holding in a pin. So we're going to go over here to release that pin. Helps if the clip was out of the way. There we go. Once that pin is out, you can then lift up on the rack into the compact or portable position and just put that pin and clip right back in. This is a very important step because you want to make sure that your bike rack is secure as you drive around. Let's take some quick measurements here. Closest point, about 3 inches away from our bumper. The length now added to the back of our vehicle is 12.5 inches, so just a little bit over a foot. Big difference compared to when this was folded down. You'll want it in this position when you're just driving around town and you don't want to take your bikes out just yet. But what is it like living with a bike rack behind you all the time? Well, with it folded up, notice how our rear window is still visible. Most of your bike racks will have it this way because because of the edge's design. Your tail lights are visible. What is going to be covered though is your backup camera and your license plate. While there is an open design here inside the rack, your backup camera sits right there, almost just above where your red marker is. So that's going to be an issue because if you do go into reverse, you'll definitely see the bike rack mainly in your view. You might be able to see a little bit through it and underneath it for if there's any vehicles or people behind you. But if that's going to be a major issue, just go ahead and drive around with it in the down position. And with this, we did install the hitch receiver for the forward edge. If you do not yet have a hitch receiver, you can find one here at eTrailer. So to compare this with some other rack options, this is really good if you need that extra weight capacity. 70 pounds is very impressive. Another option for you though might be the Yakima On ramp. That one has the ramp included on the rack and stored there, so you don't have to forget about forgetting it. And then you also have a 66-pound weight capacity. A little bit less, but very useful still. And that one actually folds up just enough where you can kind of open up the door as long as all of your frame mounts and cradles are lined up in the proper spot. So with that in mind, if you need the extra weight capacity, check out the Destination E. If you want something that is more accessible for opening up your door, check out the Yakima on-ramp. We saw different pros, we saw different cons, and hopefully you were able to figure out what is the best fit for you and your bikes. This was a look at the Hollywood Racks Destination E 2-bike platform rack for your 2 electric bikes here on our 2022 Ford Edge.